Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Ora News broadcast. I'm Daniel Cook, your host for the English edition, Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. And now, today's news. The Vice Chairman of the High Council of Justice has spoken about the situation that his organization is facing. The Vice Chairman of the High Council of Justice, Elvis Chefa, has reacted after yesterday's statements of the Ministry of Justice, after the decision to reject their request for the removal of a judge of the appellate, Jean Joni. Chefa called this an unprecedented attack on the HCJ. He said, "We are shocked by the political statements of the Minister of Justice. I expected such a reaction after the minister's inability to legally prove his claim in front of the council. He would have an excuse for his superiors, and a better excuse than the unprecedented attack that we saw on the High Council of Justice and the entire system of justice. Those who are unable to prove, according to the law, the guilt or responsibility of someone else, unfortunately, have the ability to commit slander," he said. He said that the justice reform has been launched by the ministry and is destroying the independent institutions. He continued, "Although the minister has outlawed the demands, we will continue to do our work in the High Council of Justice. The justice reform that was launched by the Ministry of Justice does not bring anything new, except the destruction of the independent institutions." Concerning this, the HCJ addressed the internationals who have provided assistance to the justice system. He said, a representative of the Socialist Party defended the statements of the Minister of Justice, Nasip Nacho. The deputy of the Socialist Party, Bledi Klosi, reacted today after the statement of the Vice Chairman of the HCJ, Elvis Chefa. He defended the Minister of Justice, Nasip Nacho. According to Klosi, the High Council of Justice shows that it is protecting the wrong sect of corrupt judges. He said, "The Socialist Party and its parliamentary group have been scandalized by the successive decision of the High Council of Justice, which peaked on Monday, when it decided not to take any action against the judges who had flagrant problems with the declaration of assets." The reaction of the HCJ was even more shameful after the declaration of the Minister of Justice. It was a response which reinforced our charges that the justice system is turning more and more into a network that includes corrupt judges who do not work for justice but work solely to enrich themselves at the expense of the Albanians, said Klosi. The socialist deputy further said, "The justice system in Albania does not work, and everyone knows this. This is the reason why this majority is determined to get the Albanian justice system moving and to restore confidence in the Albanian justice system," said Klosi. He urged the parliament to intervene, supporting the request made by Nacho. The Socialist Party supports the statement of the Minister of Justice and of the Albanian government in order to seek the intervention of the parliament, he said. The opposition leader, Lulazim Basha, participated in the assembly elections of the Democratic Party in the town of Phuket. He gave assurance that the votes will be the foundation of the decision-making process in the party. The chairman of the Democratic Party, Lulazim Basha, described the vocabulary and the insults that the Prime Minister constantly directs to the Albanian state employees as being unacceptable. Basha said that the majority has demonstrated the highest degree of corruption with the purchase of votes in Korcha. Speaking before the Democrats of Phuket, Basha has targeted the government of Rama, claiming, "You are the ones who appointed people of the outermost reaches of crime to the leading important administrative positions. You have appointed drug offenders. You have appointed those accused of kidnapping children to the administration and managerial positions." You that accuse the justice system of corruption, are you not the ones who demonstrate the highest degree of corruption? And today, you deny the opposition the right of transparency that the Constitution and the investigation committees gave. You that accuse the justice system of corruption, are you not the ones who stole the data from the tax server and still deny us parliamentary transparency? Focusing on the electoral process of the Democratic Party, Basha guaranteed that the vote will be at the core of the decision-making process in the party. He said, "The free vote of the members for any important decision cannot and should not ever be the subject of discussion or conjecture. It is and remains the subject of a transparent process with European standards that are unprecedented so far in Albania," said Basha. The majority has approved some changes to the taxation laws with only their own votes. As a result, businesses with a turnover of 2 to 8 million lek will pay a simplified tax on profits, which can be no less than 25,000 lek a year. The Committee of Laws approved, only with the votes of the majority, the changes on the law on the local tax system, which was compiled by the Ministry of Finance. The opposition voted against these changes. The Democratic Party MP, Edward Halimi, said that according to these changes, the progressive taxation declared by the government was fraudulent. He urged the ruling party to show the Albanians that they will pay more taxes and expressed that the opposition is against this, since these changes damage the citizens. The opposition is, has been, and will be against, because the package for local taxes, which is detrimental to the Albanians, said Halimi. According to Halimi, the tax burden on businesses will have a 0 to 8 million lek turnover. He said 98% of businesses have a 0 to 8 million lek turnover. You promised that they will pay less taxes, but changes in the draft law show that they will pay more taxes. The Socialist Party MP, Bashkim Fino, said that this law is in the interest of the local government and has nothing to do with politics. He said, "The changes are in the interest of the local government. The law has nothing to do with politics. It is not related to the progressive taxation." Small businesses, before yesterday, paid up to 60,000 lek. The new law increases the income of the local government, and the opposition should be with us. The law that was passed in the beginning of this year on the local tax system resulted in the vendors and businesses that had a turnover of up to 2 million lek per year being taxed more than the businesses with a 2 to 8 million lek turnover. By amending Section 11, it is proposed that the minimum tax payable for taxpayers with annual turnover from 2 to 8 million lek will not be less than 25,000 a year, said Bashkim Fino. There is a new pension plan which is due to be applied in January of the coming year. The Minister of Social Welfare and Youth, Erion Valiai, in a press conference, explained the new pension plan that is expected to be applied after the 1st of January 2015. He announced the most recent decision of the government to increase pensions by 2% for 606,000 Albanian citizens. He made this statement: "We have just passed the decision of the Council of Ministers to increase the pensions. Although the increase of the index of consumers, as stated by Instat, has reached 1.6%, the government decided to accept the approval of the Ministry of Social Welfare and Youth that pensions should increase by 2%, which exceeds the inflation rate. In this way, we will have not only a nominal increase of pensions, but a real growth of pensions in our first year," said Minister Valiai. The minister explained that the new pensions will depend directly on the contribution rate. There will be higher pensions for those who contribute more, he said. The maximum pension will change after the 1st of January of 2015. Every penny that is paid in insurance will be reflected in retirement, he said. The minister further said that 5,000 people who for the first time expect to receive a social pension will also benefit from this decision. The minister said that the negotiations with several countries have started so that the working years abroad can be recognized. The Democratic Party spokeswoman, Laura Vorpsi, has once again questioned the rule of Prime Minister Edi Rama. The spokeswoman of the Democratic Party, Laura Vorpsi, in a media statement, asked for information from the Prime Minister Edi Rama about the fact that the brother of a deputy of the Socialist Party has taken part in a criminal organization. According to Vorpsi, the brother of the deputy, whose name is not mentioned, is internationally wanted. She said, reliable sources from Interpol International suggest that the brother of a Socialist Party deputy is wanted by justice in at least 2 states. The brother of the Socialist Party MP is internationally wanted because he turns out to have been in an international group, which was a well-structured organization for trafficking marijuana, heroin, and cocaine. The base of their activity and their movements was Vlora. We are asking the Prime Minister of the country today to tell us whether he is aware of such reports from international Interpol. Is the Prime Minister aware of the fact that a fugitive of international drug trafficking has benefited thanks to his brother's immunity? In the coming days, we will publish new facts while we are waiting for the answer of Edi Rama, said Vorpsi. There have been new developments in the case of Arben Froku, who is on trial for killing a police commissioner. As it was warned, the prosecution showed the Court of Serious Crimes one of its greatest pieces of evidence in the criminal proceedings against the defendant, Arben Froku. He is being held for the murder of the Chief Commissioner, Dritan Lamai. In the video, which was explained by the prosecutor Anton Martini, the monitor displayed a moment just a few minutes before the murder of the Chief Commissioner, Dritan Lamai, outside his home. The video showed a BMW vehicle circling the building. While Lamai was trying to park his vehicle, he was shot from the BMW vehicle that was waiting for him. Then, Lamai can be seen emerging from his car and moving a few feet, asking for help before he fell lifeless from his injuries. For the prosecutor, Anton Martin, the moment that someone fired from the BMW is very important. The witness who has identified Arben Froku as the perpetrator is under the protection of the state. The entire session was held with strong tension between the defendant and the prosecutor, Anton Martini. Froku told the prosecutor, Anton Martini, that he had taken this issue personally, and he called him to find the real killers. The response of the prosecutor was immediate. He asked for the court's attention to the defendant and said that he felt threatened by his statements. The defendant has said that the witnesses of the prosecution, Arben Ndoka, is a UFO. According to him, Ndoka is pretending to have seen the businessman that night and that he shot the Chief Commissioner, Dritan Lamai. We have been waiting for this witness for 4 months, he said, and still he is not coming to testify. 17 months have passed, and I am still being kept in prison unjustly. The prosecution is wrong, Froku said. The witness, now protected by the justice system, is expected to give his testimony in the coming sessions. It is learned that he will give his testimony via video conference for his own security. The Speaker of the Albanian Parliament, Ilir Meta, is continuing his official visit to the country of Portugal. In the framework of his visit to Lisbon, the Speaker of the Assembly, Ilir Meta, was received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Portugal, Rui Machete, with whom he discussed bilateral relations, the process of European integration, and the latest international developments. The Assembly Speaker, Ilir Meta, expressed his gratitude for the generous support of Portugal within the membership of NATO, and particularly for the consolidation of the country's European perspective, noting that receiving the candidate status in the EU is good news, not only for Albanians, but for the whole Balkan region. The Minister of Foreign Affairs of Portugal, Mr. Rui Machete, expressed that Portugal stands ready to help Albania in accelerating the European agenda, and noted that the bilateral relations should be led to a phase of dynamic exchange. In this context, the work of the Embassy of Albania and 2 honorary consuls in Portugal was appreciated. The decision of the Portuguese party about the opening of the honorary consulate in Tirana was confirmed, a step that will serve the materialization of economic and cultural exchanges between the 2 countries. Talking about the latest developments in Ukraine and the Middle East, Mr. Meta and Mr. Machete shared the conviction that the consolidation of a tangible agenda of European integration for the citizens of all countries of the Balkan region will be a contribution to the strengthening of security and stability for the EU, which remains incomplete without the Western Balkans being fully integrated. In conclusion, the Minister Machete expressed or appreciated the fact that the visit of Mr. Meta to Portugal and the strengthening of interparliamentary relations will give a significant boost to the materialization of relations between Portugal and Albania. A high official of NATO has expressed his appreciation for the role that Albania plays in the region. The Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces of Europe, the U.S. General Philippe Breedlove, said today that Albania remains committed to protecting the fundamental values of the alliance: freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. The senior officer of NATO is conducting an official visit to Tirana, where after a meeting with the Minister of Defense, Mimi Kodeli, he praised the important role of Albania in NATO. He said that it contributes to the stability gained in Kosovo and also gives troops to the mission in Afghanistan. Today, the general said, Europe is facing a critical moment, the most critical since the end of the Cold War, which is related to the important changes that are taking place in the security environment. These changes have prompted NATO to look more carefully at how we have acted during the last 20 years. And these are the times that we ask the members of the alliance to demonstrate unity and to keep their promises for collective defense, which makes up the foundation stone of NATO, said Commander Breedlove. He went on, "We have begun to adapt to this changing situation by increasing the activity from the land, air, and sea. We are prepared to continue to do so until the 31st of December, while we continue to improve our operations and readiness." The Minister of Defense, Mimi Kodeli, said that besides the achievements of the Albanian army up to this point, it is important to increase the capacities of the alliance. She said, "I expressed my determination to contribute maximally, offering not only professional and well-trained troops, but also assets that can be used for operations that are led by NATO," said Kodeli. Also with the general, we shared a common concern about the recent developments and tensions in Ukraine and in Iraq, where we evaluated the current position of the alliance, she said. The opposition coalition in Kosovo has formed a joint parliamentary group. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this live broadcast to take you to where Edi Rama is speaking about the process of legalization.
të dhënë një zotim, dhe as për të justifikuar pse nuk e kemi mbajtur një zotim. Kthehemi këtu, ku është një nga plagët e urbanizimit të Tiranës, një plagë e vjetër, që me sa më kujtohet, po juve ju kujtohet më mirë, përpara 3 vjetësh, kryetari i bashkisë, atëhere kandidat për kryetar bashkie, ju premtoi se do ta shëronte sapo të hynte në zyrën e kryetarit të bashkisë. Dhe në fakt akuzoi bashkinë e mparshme që e kishte lënë këtë plagë të hapur dhe që 1200 familje që janë në godinat e quajtura të Havajt, por bashkë me to mira e mira familje tjera në 210 pallate të Tiranës, nuk arrin dot të kenë titullin e pronësisë. Nuk marrin dot dokumentin në hipotekë që provon se shtëpia është e tyre. Dhe ju jeni një pjesë e këtyre familjeve. Unë e pata thënë atëherë që kjo nuk ishte një çështje e Bashkisë Tiranës, kjo është një çështje e qeverisë. Dhe ishte qeveria që e kishte penguar për vite të tëra zgjidhjen e kësaj çështje, duke mos e dëgjuar Bashkinë e Tiranës për mënyrën se si kjo çështje mund dhe duhet zgjidhej. Natyrisht që pala tjetër tha të kundërtën, jo, ky është faji i bashkisë, është faji i Tiranës. Dhe patëm 2 vjet kohë për ta bërë. Kishin bashkinë, kishin dhe qeverinë, kishin gjithçka që u duhej, votat që u duheshin, për t'ju dhënë në dorë dokumentin e pronësisë, familjeve të gjithë këtyre godinave, duke i kthyer nga familje që kanë blerë shtëpit, por nuk ja u njeh kush për pronë, në pronar të shtëpive të tyre. Nuk e bën. Dhe ne kemi ardhur sot, sepse e bëm në 300 ditë. Më pak se 300 ditë. Këto janë pallate, pa leje ndërtimi, jo për fajin tuaj, janë pallate që janë shitur pa dokumenta dhe janë pallate për cilat ndërtuesi, investitori nuk ka shlyer asnjë detyrim ndaj shtetit. Por praktikisht, siç e thash, nuk janë vetëm këto. E tha më parë Artan Lamja, janë 18 të tilla që i përkasin njëjtit investitor, njëjtit ndërtues, dhe janë 210 të paktën deri tani të numëruara që kanë gjithë problematik. Mirë po, rasti konkret është një rast specifik, sepse ju e dini që i zoti i kësaj pune nuk jeton më. Dhe sigurisht që ju nuk keni nga të drejtoheni tjetër, përveç se nga bashkia, po bashki Tiranë nuk ka. Atëre, mbetet që këtë punë ta bëj qeveria nga A-ja ke Z-ja. Dhe nga A-ja ke Z-ja, ne e kemi nisur dhe ta përfundojmë këtë punë duke u dhënë të gjithëve në dorë ju dokumentin e legalizimit dhe ju nuk do paguani as edhe një kokër lekë. Dhe praktikisht, pavarësisht se subjekti ndërtues ka krijuar këtë problem, në rastin tuaj ne subjekti ndërtues do ta lëmë mënjan, s'kemi ku e gjejmë, dhe ju keni 2 muaj kohë për të bërë gjithë procedurat që janë të nevojshme, për cilat do t'ju asistoj Aluizni, ata që nuk i kanë bërë, se ka që i kanë bërë. Pra, brenda 2 muajsh, ju që gjithë banorët e këtyre pallateve, gjithë familjet që jetojnë në këto pallate janë të ftuara që të kërkojnë ndihmën e Aluiznit. Dhe flas këtu për familje që janë në kurbet, në migracion, po me siguri lajmin do ta marrin vesh sepse ne do bëjmë tonën, po edhe thashë themi, ju e dini është më i shpejt se interneti në Shqipëri, do shkoj dhe do t'i bjerë në vesh. Ka të tjerë që s'kan as i cop letër praktikisht, sepse një pjesë e madhe kanë letra të pagesave që kanë bërë. Gjithsesi, ne presim që çdo familje të interesohet për Aluiznit për të marrë gjithë ndihmën e duhur. Sepse procesi që ne kemi ndërtuar, dhe kjo është arsyeja pse në më pak se 300 ditë, se 300 ditë plota bëhen ditën e hënë, në më pak se 300 ditë ne kemi bërë më shumë legalizime se sa që kanë bërë ata në 8 vjetë. Llogariteni se çka kanë bërë ata. Dhe ndërkohë, kemi marrë përsipër që ta kryejmë këtë proces falas për të gjithë në një periudhë shumë më të shkurtër se sa që mund të parafiturohet. Aluizni do bëj asistencën e çdo familje. Nuk do shkoni më ju, s'do shkojnë më njerëzit që duan legalizim tek Aluizni, por do vi Aluizni pranë jush për të ndihmuar në plotësimin e gjithë dokumentave. Dhe nuk do ketë më përsëritje të asaj historisë shëmtuar dhe të përsëritur.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the time we have for this evening. Thank you for joining us. Please join us again tomorrow at 6 p.m. for more Albanian news in English, only here on Ora News. Thank you and good night.